This is Phillies postgame live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance, along with Ricky Batalico. I'm Michael Barkan. Ruben Amaro Jr. coming up. This is a huge win tonight for the Phillies, and I mean huge. Why? Team's been scuffling. They haven't had consecutive wins for 2 weeks, Ricky Bo, for 2 weeks when they swept Colorado and then won the first one against the Dodgers. So we're waiting. We're wondering what to expect.
April 4th, right?
April 4th, and they did it tonight, and they did it in convincing fashion. Love it. Your thoughts?
They did it well. This is what you should do to this team. And we said it in pregame show. You look down at the lineups, and when you look at the lineups, there's not a lot of names that pop out on the Marlins team. You look over at the Phillies, and you say, this should not be a comparison that I'm trying to make here. And the Phillies went on, and you know what? Oddly enough, you almost expected Sandy Alcantara to have this type of game. You saw his numbers from games earlier. You knew he was struggling a little bit within the strike zone and outside of the strike zone. Well done by the Phillies.
Sure was. Coming off the Tommy John as well, Sandy Alcantara.
Yes,
Let's go across the street to Citizen Bank Park for the crossover, presented by our friends at Chapman Auto Stores. Here's Ruben Amaro Jr. Called tonight's game with Tom McCarthy and Ben Davis. Rube, I just said this is a huge win. I'm assuming you agree. They score in 3 separate innings tonight. They get a consecutive wins for the first time in 2 weeks since April 4th, for goodness sakes. And it looks like they're on pace for 97 wins. I hope it's not too early to say that. Your thoughts on this victory, Ruben?
I think it was just a great win. I mean, this was classic Zack Wheeler. Really pitched well, super efficient, used all of his pitches. His four-seamer was up in the zone, had a lot of life. His sinker was excellent as well. He's using it to both sides of the plate very effectively. I mean, he had it all working. 0 walks. That's the big number for me, and he was super efficient. I mean, he ended up, with 12 or 13 strikeouts. And, I mean, to me, when you can do that and throw under 100 pitches, that's pretty astounding. Just a great effort. And offensively, I mean, they really swung the bats well. They had an attack plan for Alcantara. They've seen him a lot. They have pretty good numbers against him. This lineup had great numbers against him, but they handled him really well and did some serious damage early and often.
Yeah, Ruben, especially in that second inning, which was interesting to me. They showed some patience. You know what? Alcantara was missing a put-away pitch. And I think the Phillies realized that, and they made him come up. We heard Schwarber say it, and it was pretty obvious that they were trying to make him come up in the zone. And they did some damage with 2 strikes. I thought they had a really nice approach all night.
Yeah, they sure did. And, I looked at some of the numbers on Alcantara, and obviously the overall numbers don't look great for him, but his velocities and the stuff overall pretty darn good. But he hasn't really been great as far as command is concerned, which he's been, his entire career. He's not only has great stuff, but really, really good command. But the Phillies did a really good job of battling and putting the ball in play and utilizing the middle of the field, hitting some balls the other way. They did a lot of things well today against a quality pitcher, and that's a great sign. Hey, there's been a lot of talk about, whether these guys, what's the story? What's going on with their offense? Well, it's a really good hitting team. They just have not hit yet, and they're starting to do that, and it's nice to see them heat up.
Hey, Ruben, is this a conscious effort? Because I've noticed about the last 2-3 games, they've been hitting the ball basically where it's pitched. So if it's on the outside part of the plate, they're driving the ball to the opposite field. Is this a team effort that they're trying to do this right now?
Yeah, I got to believe that. They're just trying to put together good at-bats. I mean, there's no question in my mind that, they're just trying to put the ball in play. I don't think they're trying to drive the ball out of the ballpark. From the time the spring training started, I really like the quality of the bats overall. It hasn't been consistent, especially with runners in scoring position. They've been struggling with that. But today, put together some really good at-bats with runners in scoring position. They had situational hitting that was excellent. And I think that's it. It's ebbs and flows, but it's nice to see these guys, have success doing this. And I think it's just something overall. They're just trying to make better decisions, and they are. They're one of the best teams as far as getting on base and seeing pitches. and hopefully that continues.
I think that was perfectly put. Ebbs and flows. You're hoping for more flows than ebbs, and it's been a struggle over the last 10 games or so. Talk to me a little bit about the lineup, because Stott leads off tonight. Schwarber will lead off. Turner was in there for a shot. Is this lineup maybe better suited to getting hits regardless of lefty-righty? What do you think?
I always like the idea of having Stott at the top of the lineup just because I think he handles being in that one hole really well. I think that he sees a lot of pitches. He makes pretty good swing decisions, doesn't swing out of the zone a lot, especially when he's healthy. Obviously, we've talked about it a lot last year, struggling with that elbow some. But it looks like he is feeling really comfortable in that spot. He's seeing, like I said, he's seeing some pitches, had a nice sac fly today. Probably saw as many pitches as anybody, and I guess the guys in the 3 and 4 hole did as well. But I like Stott there at the top because he can run a little bit. He's got good instincts. I like the way it's designed. You'll probably see against left-handers Turner in the 1 hole, and you may see a little bit of a shift in the overall lineup. But by and large, I mean, they're going to see more right-handers than left-handers anyway. So you may be seeing Stott in there for a while, particularly because I think Schwarber really protects Harper in that lineup, hitting behind him, and I think that's a big deal.
Talk about Friday the 13th. It's not Friday the 13th, but he had 13 strikeouts for just the second time in his career. His career high is 14. Pretty darn good, 7 strong innings. You said pregame, my friend, which is a reason to watch pregame live. Ricky Bo said, this guy is going to deal tonight. We've been hoping that for Aaron Nola. He has not come around, and Wheeler's coming off 2 tough starts. But how did you know?
It's not so, because I believe in his work ethic. I believe in how he makes adjustments. I don't go up. I don't go on TV and say this guy makes adjustments pitch by pitch just to say it. I truly believe it, and I can see it. And then, you have a couple bad starts. He knows there's something wrong. And I'm sure he had those 4 days in between, and he went back to the drawing board. So I had a firm belief that he was going to come back here and throw the way we know he's capable of.
Sure did. He said he was going to deal pregame. You know what? I'm going to be there for the pregame show tomorrow just to hear what you have to say. For goodness sakes.
Thanks a lot.
12:30 we open tomorrow. Rob Thomson on his team's win and his starters' performance tonight.
Yeah, he's swinging the bat. That's for sure. Looks like he's got his timing down, and he's got a lot of length through the zone, so he's swinging the bat good.
He had a couple of moments in the game where he looked uncomfortable. Did he come out all right from everything?
Yeah, the hand thing, he just slipped it. His hand slipped off the bat. Got a little tingle there, but and then the play in the ninth, it was an awkward move at the bag, so he's fine.
How do you like how that Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, 3, 4, 5 has kind of played together?
It's worked out pretty well, and Stott's getting on base, so and I think hitting Schwarber right now anyway, hitting Schwarber behind Harper forces them to pitch to Harper, so it's worked out good.
Nick came out for pinch runner. Was that just precautionary?
Yeah, he'll be in there tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the way he's been hitting so far this year, and also with Marsh banged up, how important is it to just make sure that he's healthy?
Yeah.
In this situation?
And at that time, I didn't really want him to run the bases, and we were up 7-0, so I felt pretty comfortable with it, just to get him out of there and make sure he's safe.
So nothing new with the hit?
No.
What did you think of Wheeler?
Thought he was great. A lot of strikes, head in the count. I thought the split was good tonight, and he had a lot of ride to his fastball. So he got above the barrel and he got below the barrel with the split. So I thought he was really good.
It's cool to see Sanchez and Wheeler, 2 great starts back to back.
Yeah. Now we've got a full bullpen tomorrow, and that's always good to have on any day.
It's like these guys are trying to one-up each other every day at this point.
That's, competition's a good thing sometimes, so it's good.
What do you think made the offense so effective against Alcantara
You know, we've seen him a lot, and he probably wasn't as sharp as he normally is. But I thought we were very disciplined. We used the field. You know, in the first inning, we get a walk, and Harper hits home run. And then in the second inning, I think we walked, and we had 3 hits. Either they were in the middle of the diamond or opposite field. And we got some, you know, a couple of wild pitches, so we were fortunate on that end. But I really liked our approach against them, and you know, 61 pitches after 2 innings. They did the right thing by getting them out and protecting them coming off the injury. So I thought our offensive approach was really good tonight.
Bohm hasn't hit in 5 straight. Do you think he's turned the corner from the slow start?
I hope so. Yeah, I mean he's swinging the bat good. I like the way he's going about it, and he's playing good defense, and he's playing good baseball right now.
Is there a reason why Sosa didn't play left field?
Well, so last night, the way it worked out was that they still had a left-hander in the pen. So that's why Sosa played left. Tonight, they had no left-hander available in the bullpen. So that's why we put Clemens in. It's basically, and Clemens is pretty good in left field, so he's really worked at it. So the defense is kind of the same. So it was more about offensive matchup. Thank you.
Putting in this one.
Missed last season coming off Tommy John surgery. He is a former Cy Young Award winner, and he throws 61 pitches tonight. You heard Rob Thomson say they did the right thing in getting him out of there as the Phillies lambasted him. It was 1 hit after the next. 2 innings, 4 hits, 6 earned runs allowed, and that's not what we're used to seeing from Sandy Alcantara, although the Phillies have had their way with him at various times, which happens.
They have, but if you look at these guys in the lineup, the Phillies had 4 guys in the lineup. One of them was batting .294. The rest were in the high 300s. And I'm not talking about the guys at the bottom of the order. I'm talking about guys like Harper. You look at Turner. Schwarber was in there, and I believe, I'm not really sure who the 4th one was. But, I mean, you're talking about 4 guys that owned him when he was good on top of his game. Now, all of a sudden, he's not on top of his game. He doesn't have a put-away pitch. You're in some trouble against Phillies.
Speaking of Bryce Harper, what a night he had. 1 for 3 for Harper. 1 for 3, 2 RBI, and that run scored on his homer. Here he is postgame in the clubhouse.
I mean, I just thought walking more. I mean, obviously, when I walk more, I see more pitches, and I feel better there at the plate. I think when I walk, good things happen. Not trying to do too much, obviously, and getting pitches over the plate and not missing them.
Do you think you've seen a few more strikes with Schwarber behind you?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, Kyle's great behind me. It's going to make a team think, about what they're going to do, and we're both hitting lefties pretty well right now as of late. Kyle has all year, but I think obviously teams are going to think about it a little bit more.
Did you have some discomfort after that one swing and miss in, I think it was the 5th inning?
No, my hand just was slipping.
Oh,
just slipped like 3 times.
But you came out all good?
Yeah, it's fine.
And all good after that play in the 9th. Right?
Yep.
What was it like watching Wheeler out there today?
Great, man. Every time he goes out there, it's special. He finds his zone, understand what he needs to do, and I thought it was very sharp tonight.
You get 2 starts like that back to back, Sanchez yesterday, Wheeler today. I mean, how obviously that's tremendous, but how much does that help the team get on a roll when you get guys pitching like that?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, starting pitching, wins championships. I think, having a guy like Sanchez go in yesterday and do what he did, 12 punches, throwing strikes, he's special. He's fun to watch. I think our whole starting staff's been pretty dang good, so it's been fun to watch.
It's the start of the 2022 season, which is when Kyle Schwarber began his tenure with the Philadelphia Phillies. Only Aaron Judge has more home runs in baseball, and he's tied with only a guy named Ohtani, who's a former MVP. Schwarber and Ohtani with 138, Pete Alonso of the Mets, and Matt Olson.
Is this any good, what you're saying right now?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good. This guy's a good ball player. I don't care what anybody. You know what? I would take this guy on my team every single day of the year.
So when Ruben Amaro Jr. calls him a modern-day Babe Ruth, you can't argue that. No, I'm not deriding it. I'm saying he's prolific like that.
It's a constant. He's coming up on 300 home runs in his career. I mean, this guy's no joke. And, I mean, when you think back, it's like 40 home runs, 40 home runs, 40 home runs. That doesn't happen to everybody in baseball, especially nowadays. You don't see that a ton. You literally get like a upper echelon, and that's about it. Well, the Phillies have an upper echelon guy, which is kind of nice to see.
Sure is. So Kyle Schwarber is a star tonight. Bryce Harper is a star tonight. And Zack Wheeler is definitely a star tonight. Here he is post-game at his locker.
Like your four-seamer split, you thought were working both pretty well. What did you think? Was it working well?
Yeah, I think they're both working well. Made a couple adjustments between last start and this start of just getting into my, push leg and getting over my front landing leg a little bit better. And, fastball is just playing a little different. It's spinning nice and true how you want it to be. And, the split was just playing well off of that. JT caught a great game. Just keeping them off balance for the most part. So.
Is there an element of friendly competition among the starting rotation with Sanchez striking out 12 and you going out and striking out 13?
Yeah, it's always a friendly competition. You just try to outdo the guy, the day before you, and I think that's what pushes good staffs is just that friendly, competitive competition. So.
You've been teammates with Bryce for a while now, but do you still kind of find yourself amazed at some of those home runs?
Yeah. Just watching it downstairs, so it was off the high home view, but just watching his home runs over the years, they come in good times and kind of when we need them. So he takes pride in that, and he just told me that he's glad he could get me off to a 2-0 start. He's been trying to do that for a while, so I'll always take it for sure.
Harper, Kyle, and Castellanos, they seem to be clicking in the middle of that order. I mean, how tough is it for a pitcher to sort of go through those three guys when they're hitting like this?
Yeah, Stott, he's doing well also. He found a little spot there with the leadoff, and it's working well. But yeah, I mean, the middle of the lineup, it's good hitters. It's good hitters, and especially with guys on it, you don't want to go through that middle of the lineup. So. It was good to have on our side.
Bryce doesn't know if he's being pitched differently with Kyle hitting behind him. He said maybe the guys are thinking differently about how he will be pitched. Do you think you would think differently in how you would pitch Bryce if Kyle was hitting behind him?
Yeah, I mean, you could put anybody behind Bryce in this lineup, and it's going to be a tough lineup. I know we've had our ups and downs, but it's a good lineup, and from top to bottom, and it would be tough facing this lineup. But yeah, I mean, just Bryce right there, and then Schwarber behind him. It's two really powerful bats back to back, and you got to face one of them. So